everybody, and welcome back to Mark Clemens Postcards. Before we get started, I just want to remind you, if you like videos like this, please give us a like. Ellie is begging you to give us a like. Think of it this way, if you would give us a like, it would be like giving Ellie a biscuit. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel. If you were to subscribe to our channel, it would be like giving little Lucy a cookie. And what could be better than that? So please like and subscribe. Now let's go. Over the last several videos, we've been taking a look at the results of a recent auction where I purchased about 6,700 postcards, and I have shown you the cards that I have deemed worthy of putting onto eBay. Then it doesn't mean the other cards aren't any good. I certainly have purposes for those as well. But the better ones that I want to list on eBay, I've shown you about 2/3 of them. And so today we're going to take a look at the last batch of cards that I've set aside and see what you think of those. Okay, so today we're going to look at the last of the cards from the recent auction, and this entire batch are greeting cards. I don't typically sell a lot of greeting cards, but when I do come across ones that I think are nicer than your average card, I will pick it up or, attempt to put it on eBay and see what happens. This first one is kind of interesting because it has an attachment. This is a Decoration Day greetings from, let's see, this was not posted, but Decoration Day was the predecessor to Memorial Day. So this is very early 1900s. And this little flag goes with this card, and I'm not exactly sure how it was attached. I think there was I think there's a pinhole here in the card, and it was in here like this. And then it unfolds. So it's a pretty neat little card. And so I'm going to put that one on eBay, see what happens with that one. Here's a mechanical card. You see these from time to time. Here's a dog with a little spring for a tail. Usually the springs are missing. Unfortunately with this card, this edge is kind of chewed up over here. Looks like somebody trimmed it and then it got a little bit beat up. But at least the spring's still attached there, which is kind of cool. Here's an exaggeration card. It says we're taking out some big ones at Barbie Lakes. And I'm not sure where that is, except this is postmarked from Indiana, so maybe Barbie Lakes is Indiana. I'll have to look that up. But that's kind of a neat exaggeration art card, and the artist name down here looks like Wit. Here's a little kitten. Lots of people love animals, so there's a cute little kitten on a card. Here are some angels or cupids. It says with all affection, and we have some shamrocks there. So what is this? Is this St. Patrick's Day or Valentine's Day? I think it's Valentine's Day, but I'm not sure what the shamrocks are for. Here's a nice card of a real photo here with a lovely lady on here wishing somebody a happy birthday. And it's a tinted real photo, which is a collectible item. Here we have a card with two little children playing in a pond, and it says the Lily Pool. It looks like an artist's signed card. Here's another Valentine card. Here we see a romantic couple there embracing in the trees, and over here is Cupid hiding behind a tree with his or her bow and arrow there, but it looks like she's accomplished her task. Here we have kind of a humor card. It says, I only have eyes for you, dear. And here we have what looks like a potato head, and here's a tomato head. unusual. Here's one, a humor card, which I just thought was quirky. It says Wedding in the Ozarks. And I'll just let you look at that and make of that what you will. Here's a Valentine card. It says To My Love, with a big giant heart with some purple flowers and a Cupid. Here we have a St. Patrick's Day greeting. It clearly states that on there, and we have the shamrocks on there. Another Valentine card. Here we have a lovely lady in like a mirror or a frame held by a most likely a Cupid, and a heart border of flowers. Here's a humorous card. It says I'm happy but I'm broke. Looks like this guy may have been hitting the bottle a little bit, so that's kind of an alcohol related card. Another humor card, and I think this is also a signed artist. A little boy holding a cat by the tail and says, "Ain't it a shame?" I don't know what that means. I guess he's teasing this dog with it, so that's not very nice. But somebody might find that card interesting. Here's a Christmas card. It says Merry Christmas. If you look down here real carefully, you can see signed by artist Ellen Clapsaddle, a very popular artist. A lot of cards out there signed by her. Here it says to wish you a happy new year. And so here's someone with a dog and a basket of flowers and some packages to bring in the new year. Here again is a happy Christmas. And again, you can see over here signed by Ellen Clapsaddle. To My Valentine. Here again we have a Cupid. We have lots of hearts and flowers, and that's an attractive card. To My Valentine, a Cupid lugging a big package there. Says, help me with my bundle. It's nothing new, just thoughts of you. Another Valentine. There's Cupid and a dove, some hearts. Another Valentine, a little girl with a bunch of flowers. Won't you be my mini haha? This is an artist signed wall, as you can see there. So, American Indian related, also signed artist. Here's an interesting card with a die-cut border there, with a very intricate border. I'm surprised it's still intact. I think possibly on this corner and this corner we've lost this little piece that you can see here and here. I'm guessing those all four corners were the same, so it has that slight bit of damage, but still pretty amazing for its age. It looks like 1910 was the date, and for it to survive in that good a condition over all that time, that's pretty incredible. Here's another Christmas. We see people pulling up in a horse-drawn sleigh, obviously coming to spend some time with some relatives or friends. Here's a romantic card. It says yes or no is the question there, as we have the romantic couple by the fireside. Another, this is a birthday. Look at first glance, looks like a Valentine, but it says best birthday wishes. Another humor card says I'm suffering with the grip. You know, we see this little fellow being squeezed in the handshake. Unusual. Another St. Patrick's Day card. Here is a Valentine, and again we have artist sign, and you can see that there, Ellen Clapsaddle in the lower corner. Little boy poking a heart there. Thanksgiving, good old Thanksgiving. Here we see some turkeys out in the yard. Another Thanksgiving. Turkey. Kind of a pumpkin border there with a rural scene. Easter greetings. Here we see some little girls gathering eggs and some little chicks there falling out of the basket. Thanksgiving greetings. Again, we see a big pumpkin and a turkey, a colorful, attractive card. Thanksgiving again. Thanksgiving greetings with a couple little girls and the turkey. A lot of bright colors on that card. Here we have another artist sign. A pretty lady says, "You know you're not forgotten." And there we have the artist signature down there. Says, "I greet the Valentine." A pretty lady and a big heart and a cupid at the top. "To my Valentine." There's a pretty little girl and some flowers. "A joyful Easter." We have some little children with a basket of chicks and chicks on the ground there. I don't know if you can see that probably. There is glitter on this card, something usually to be avoided, but on the case of a card like this, maybe it's not so bad, won't hurt the value too much. Here we have a Merry Christmas, and we have a pretty angel there holding some flowers. Another Merry Christmas with an angel and a small tree, some little angels in the background. Again, we've got some glitter on there. Also some little jewel type things that are glued on there. Easter wishes. This is kind of a fantasy card in that we have a chicken in a dress holding a little baby chicken that's in an outfit, and then there's a younger chicken in a dress. So that's what we call dressed animals or fantasy. Pretty popular collectible topic. Back to Valentine's. There's a cupid and a heart, some flowers and some doves there. Bright colors. Here is a tinted real photo card. Here's a lady in a heart. Christmas greetings. There's a little girl in the snow, and we have some holly there. The other feature of this card is this little girl has on a silk applique dress there, if you can see that on there. That's actually a little piece of silk glued on there. Then we have our best wishes for Happy Thanksgiving. Here's a gentleman wheeling a cart with some turkeys in it. Birthday greetings. Pretty young girl there with a basket of flowers and a bouquet of flowers. More flowers over here. This has some gold gilding to it. It makes it pretty attractive. Best Easter wishes. We see a little train here on the tracks with some little chicks riding in little egg-shaped cars. And a chick over here holding an umbrella. So again, kind of a fantasy card. This one also has some gold gilding around it, as you can see in the reflection there. Thanksgiving blessings. Here is a girl and a turkey. Again, a girl with a turkey. Thanksgiving blessings. To my Valentine. There is a beautiful butterfly there, as you can see. And a happy Easter to you. And here's a bunny pulling a little basket with some other little bunnies and some eggs in it. Alright, we got another handful here. Let's see what we got. Here we have Easter messages. And there's some little rabbits there and a vase of flowers. This says Easter greetings, and this one is got the real heavy embossing. The chicks and the chicken or rooster here really stand out from the card, and it has also been airbrushed. The colors on here have been airbrushed on there, and these chicks are marching like soldiers in an army, so again, that is also fantasy related or dressed animals related. Here we have Easter greetings, a little girl with a giant sack of bunnies, and some of them are falling out of there. Need to tie your sack of bunnies up better. Here's Christmas. I give you Christmas greetings. One little child rolling another one up in a giant snowball. Make a snowman, I presume. Here's a happy birthday greeting. Now, this one's interesting in that this is a fold-out card. It's also die-cut. The front folds out here, and inside you have a little message. Friendship greeting to Flora from these people here, and there's another message in there. So interesting card with the die cut front and the folding flap on it. Here we have Easter greetings, pretty colorful card. You see a little scene here with some kids watching a puppet show, but it still has the Easter theme. That's a real colorful one there. In very nice condition as well. Here's a military one. This one was during World War I, and it says, "We boys who shouldered arms all hope when we get home again there'll be another pair of arms around our shoulders then." Easter gladness, a little girl with the purple flower and kind of dressed as a purple flower. Happy New Year, an artist signed card, artist signature down here. Pretty lady in a pretty dress there. Valentine greetings, a lovely lady framed in a heart there. You can see the gold gilding on there. This has that high gloss gel finish to it. You can certainly see that in the reflection. This says to greet you, and this is another die cut card with a fold out here. Fold this side out, fold this side out as well. You have a little scene in there. There's no writing in there, but you could write a message inside. A peaceful Easter. And this one features a cross on it with some flowers, but this cross, don't know if you can tell on here, has like a silk applique on it, a little piece of fabric on the cross, very silky to the touch. Here we have a Christmas card, Merry Christmas, and then we have a little girl sitting on a stool, and this is also an artist signed card. As you can see, the artist's initials down there, B.E.B. This one is, I don't know, what is the holiday here? It's just a pretty little girl in a frame of flowers. Best birthday wishes. We have some doves carrying some flowers there, some roses. Glad greetings for Easter. There's some chicks pulling a little egg wagon with, I don't know, I guess that's a fairy. It has like butterfly wings. So again, a fantasy kind of card. Here's just a pretty woman, a view of a portrait of a lady there. No other information. Some military related cards, or romance cards. The Army. Here we have Between Two Fires. These next few cards are part of a series. Again, military related. In the Power of the Enemy. But it's kind of a play on words with romantic couples here. Target practice. Facing the powder charge. Close order march. This lucky fella has 2 girls. Not sure how he manages that. And a misfire. So sort of humor, military, romance, all rolled into one there in those cards. Now we're back to best wishes, and here we have a little angel or a cupid with dumping out some flowers there and some stars in the background. St. Patrick's Day greeting. To my Valentine with some flowers and a cupid at the top. Let's see, what does this one say? Time to send your friend a letter. So that's just a pretty woman there, standing there, wanting somebody to write to her. And it's artist sign. You can see the artist name down here in the corner. If that focuses, I don't know if you can read that or not. I'm going to need a magnifying glass myself to figure out what that signature is. Valentine greetings, pretty young lady in a heart. Another Valentine, we have some cupids with a big heart and a flower border with little hearts. Easter greetings, got a chick riding in a little egg cart there. Christmas, got some children walking in the snow with an umbrella and some holly around the edges. Christmas again, here's a little boy giving this little girl a tree. Looks like he's delivering trees and packages to people. It says Christmas greetings up here. Nice condition. Welcome Easter morning. Here we see some butterflies, and here we see some girls or women with flower petals on their head, like hats or bonnets. So that's an interesting theme. This is a John Winch card, so Winch cards are pretty collectible. It says, Joyful Dawn of Easter. Here we have a sheep, and here in an egg we see a chicken. Here's a little girl leading a cart pulled by lambs with a big giant egg on it. A little bit of gold gilding there. Very attractive card. Here's another colorful one. Best wishes. Lots of flowers and some birds there. Gold gilding. It's got a high gloss gel finish. Nice, very nice condition for its age. Merry Christmas. And we have a couple angels. Looks like they're chopping down a tree or something there. Don't know who they're going to take that to. Or they're taking it home for themselves. I don't know. Just a name card. Just says Bessie. I have found that people do collect these because somebody out there is named Bessie, and if they came across this, they might be interested in that. Here's a, let's see, this is a Lord's Prayer, part of the Lord's Prayer series. It says, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those that trespass against us. As I said, part of a series. There's also a series for the 10 Commandments. Several different series, as a matter of fact, from different publishers. Here we have another To My Valentine. We've got some cupids. Looks like they're kind of tired. Resting on a big heart there. And some little hearts as well. And again, we got some gold gilding on that card. Very Merry Christmas. We have a basket of, I don't know what that is. It looks like cherries. And it has some material applicated, like little beads on here, kind of thick around there. And then we have artist sign Ellen Clapsaddle on there as well. So a lot going on that card. Here's just a pretty lady. It says the title is Waiting, and here we have an artist signature down in the corner. Easter greetings, some children and some lambs there. Thanksgiving greetings, we have a turkey and an American flag, or not really a flag, but an American symbol there. We've got some gold gildings. This one does have a gel finish, but unfortunately this one has a lot of cracking in it from age. Still an attractive card though. To the one I love, obviously Valentine. There we have some cupids and hearts and flowers. Accept my love, Valentine. There's a cupid with a basket full of hearts with arrows through them, so he's been busy piercing hearts there with his arrows. Here's a gentleman on the phone, says the party line. There's the artist sign over there, looks like John Morton. And so just the fact that it's artist sign in the old style telephone makes it interesting. Here we have to greet my love, so a Valentine type card. We've got a couple there framed in the heart and a cupid and some flowers. There's a pretty purplish one. My wife would like this one. With love and esteem. We see the romantic couple there framed in flowers and some hearts, and there's Cupid's bow and arrow down there. All good wishes for the new year. We have the clock striking 12, and we got a big horseshoe there. So good luck, of course. Merry Christmas. And here we see a sleeping child and an angel's placing a little doll with her, and she's also holding a Christmas tree, and she's framed by a wreath there of holly. Some kittens again, says the aristocrats. And we have a group of 4 cute little kittens there. I know there's some kitten fans out there. Here we have Christmas greetings, a country scene in a Christmas decoration, like a ornament style there, with flowers around. Again, it's got some gold gilding and got that high gloss gel finish to it, which is in pretty good shape. I just see one little crack over here. Another name card for Elizabeth. Well, we know there's Elizabeth out there. This one also has some, the letters are outlined in glitter. Another pretty woman, just says innocence. We have the woman here, and I guess it's a dove here. This one also has some glitter on it and some tiny little applique jewels. And last card in this batch says Valentine Wishes. Here's a couple kissing with a big heart in the background. This also has a high gloss gel finish to it. All right, here's another stack. Here we have a Valentine greetings. You and you alone, dearest. And here we see a couple hugging each other as they walk along, and this is a very colorful, bright card. Here again, we can see gold gilding on that, and it has a very high gloss gel type finish. To my Valentine, again with the gold gilding and the gel finish. Unfortunately, this one is starting to wear. As you can see over here where the gentleman is, some of the finish is actually flaked off. Even when you touch it, it has a tendency to flake off, so some pretty delicate condition there. Overall, the card's not too bad, but this does take away from the value somewhat. Here's a Thanksgiving greeting. We see a lady there. It kind of looks like from the time of the Pilgrims with a turkey. And here's a live turkey down here. Here is Happy New Year, and we have a young lady driving a cart. It is pulled by deer, and it's loaded up with shamrocks. This cart also has some gold gilding on it. Here we have Easter greetings. We have maybe a woman with her child and some lambs there. I think that says charity at the top. And here we have an angel holding a heart and some small cupids there. Day by day I wait for thee, till my love you come to me. Here's a romantic couple on a bench, and you can see lots of gold gilding on that one. A fantasy type card. Here's an Easter greeting with some dressed rabbits dancing with a little girl. Here is just a heavy embossed card with airbrushing. Looks like some, I don't know, it looks like maybe some strawberries on there. Not even sure which is up or down. I guess maybe it goes this way. Another heavy embossed card says best wishes. Got some flowers over here with a silky type surface to them. Very thick over there. Here we have a little flap that opens up, and there's got a message inside. It says happy birthday. Another airbrush card. This looks like a flower. It's got the heavy embossing and the airbrushing. Easter greetings. Here we have a rabbit pulling a little cart with some flowers in it. Again, heavy embossing, airbrushing. A Merry Christmas. And there's a Santa Claus there in the center frame. Some holly around the borders. It is a heavy embossed card, a lot of texture to it as you run your fingers across it. It's coming apart a little bit there, but that can be fixed. Here we have some fruit, and again it's a heavy embossed card with airbrushing. It says many happy returns of the day. Somebody wrote that on there. Best wishes, some heavy embossed purple flowers with airbrushing. Here is, let's see, which way would this go? Probably just like this. There we have a bird and some fruit, some grapes, it looks like, green grapes, purple grapes, heavy embossed, airbrushing. I would like to be your sweetheart. A heavy embossed card with real thick writing with glitter on the lettering there. Also has some little jewel type items glued on it. How are you, kid? That looks like the same people on there. Different message. Again with the heavy embossed letters and the glitter and some little jewels attached. 1,000 kisses, kiddo, to my dearest. And again with the heavy embossing, heavy letters, glitter on the letters, little sparkly jewels on there. This one said loving greetings, heavy embossed flowers and airbrushing. Here's an Easter one, couple chicks pulling an egg cart with another chick in it. This has a very heavy embossed texture. These chicks have like a silky fabric applique to them. Same with the flowers, they're very silky. So a lot going on with that card. To My Valentine, heavy embossing, airbrushing on there. Merry Christmas, angel and a bell and a star. Heavy embossing, airbrushing, some glitter. Birthday greetings. We have I don't know, what is that? It looks like a box. And some birds and some flowers. Very heavy texture. And some silky material applied there to the flowers. Happy birthday. There's an air balloon. Heavy embossing, textured, airbrushing. Birthday greetings. Again, heavy texture, has some silk. The flowers are silky material attached. This one has the die cut little panels that you can open up, and inside there is a message there. And this one, let's turn it the right way. Birthday greetings. There's a scene in the center there. Got some glitter and some little jewels attached. I believe we had some airbrushing on that one. That one's a little yellowed for me. As you can see where it was in an album, we can see the difference in the lightness there at the corners. Here's a ship on the water. It says all good wishes. Heavy embossed and airbrushing. Easter, joys be thine. There's a bunny with an egg and some eggs around the border. Love to my sister. Heavy embossing, airbrushing. Good luck. Again with the very heavy embossing and the silky material attached to the flowers. Birthday greetings. Heavy embossed, airbrushing. Easter greetings. Heavy embossed and airbrushing. To My Valentine, and here we have a little silky heart attached and a purple bow up here. And do I have more, you asked? Of course I do, but this will be the last handful for this batch. Here are some more flowers, heavy embossed with the airbrushing. Here we have Easter greetings. We have a chicken pulling a cart full of eggs and all the little chicks running around. Heavily embossed and airbrushing. This is a really colorful card here. Happy birthday. Heavy embossed flowers with airbrushing. Birthday greetings. Heavily embossed. Here's a die cut, a little panel like we saw before. Opens up with a message inside. This has a little bit of, I don't know, some kind of residue stuck to it. Birthday greetings, heavy embossed lettering on there. Loving birthday greetings. Again, heavy embossing with airbrush flowers. Wishing you many happy birthdays. We've got a bird and some flowers on there. I think that's airbrushed. Here's a lady dancing, says Easter greetings. And she's carrying some flowers, and she has also some airbrushing, heavily embossed. Just some flowers with heavy embossing and airbrushing. Happy birthday. Here's a shoe with some flowers in and around it. Heavy embossing, airbrushing. To My Valentine, here we have some doves. And again we have the birds with the silky material appliqued to them. Same with these little hearts. For some reason, this one bird does not have the material, but everything else on here does. There's a pot of purple flowers, really heavy embossing on that one. And airbrushing, of course. Birthday greetings, heavily embossed flowers with the silky material attached. Another heavily embossed flower, silky material attached to the flower. Heavily embossed flower. Yeah, it feels like a silky material attached to that. Heavily embossed flower with airbrushing. Birthday greetings, heavily embossed and airbrushed. Birthday greetings again, heavily embossed. This flower has the silky material appliqued to it. Here's best wishes. We have a flower and a butterfly up here. This flower actually has little silky petals and some material here at the center. I'm not sure what that's made out of. Again, pretty heavy embossing on that one. Happy birthday. There's a bird and some flowers with the heavy embossing and airbrushing. You see, I've got a lot of these airbrushed and heavy embossed cards here. Here's another one with flowers with the silky material on there. A bird and flowers, again, heavy embossing, airbrushed colors. Birthday greetings, heavy embossing, airbrushed colors. Ooh, there's a vase of flowers with very heavy embossing and a silky material on the flowers. It also feels like on the leaves as well, but that one's really pretty. Birthday greetings, heavy embossing, airbrushed. Happy birthday, big flower there, heavy embossed and airbrushed. Another flower with embossing and airbrushing. And the last one of those is some fruit. Guess it goes that way with the heavy embossing. As you can see, that embossing on the back quite clearly. And airbrush colors. And that's it. Well, that is it for that bunch of postcards. Thank you for taking the time to look through those with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I think next time I see you, we're going to talk about where do you get postcards, or what we call sourcing postcards. Where do you find them? Where's a good place to look? I think that's what we'll talk about. But until then, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.